Woody was the one that inspired us all.
There's a better world that's coming, tell you why. Better world that's coming, tell you why. Out of my
I'm out to sing songs that will prove to you that this is your world, and that if it has hit you pretty hard and knocked you for a dozen loops, no matter how hard it's run you down and rolled over you, no matter what color, what size you are, how you are built, I am out to sing the songs that make you take pride in yourself and in your work. And the songs I sing are made up for the most part by all sorts of folks, just about like you.
We'll beat 'em on the land, in the sea and in the sky. There's a better world that's coming, I'll tell you why. Well, there's a better world that's coming, don't you see? Better world that's coming, don't you see? When we'll all be.
And I think that's the only book.
That's what belongs on the list of the top 3, 4, 5 environmental catastrophes in world history. Those catastrophes took place over hundreds and even thousands of years of deforestation. We've created a world-class environmental disaster in a matter of 40 or 50 years.
It was an epic of human pain.
Many of my past come and gone since I wandered from my home. Knows Oklahoma is where I was born. Many pages of my life I've done, many lessons I have learned, and I feel like in those hills where I belong. Way down yonder on the inland nation, ride my pony on the reservation in Oklahoma hills where I was born.
I think it's so wonderful that Woody Guthrie's work is returning to Oklahoma, that this landscape would be the place that a voice like that would rise up.
I got started in Oklahoma. That's where I was born. Population down there is 1/3 Indians, 1/3 Negroes, and 1/3 white people. So I hit the road doing all kinds of odd jobs all over the country and traveling amongst all these kind of people, and actually picked up a lot of songs, and a lot of funny different versions of folk songs and ballads. I've been a-grubbing on a little farm on the flat and windy plains. I've been a-listening to the hungry cattle bawl. I'm gonna pack my wife and kids. I'm gonna hit that western road. I'm gonna hit that Oregon trail that's coming fall.
There's only one or two Woody Guthries that come along in a lifetime, and you need to listen to them, you know?
When it comes to the genre of singer-songwriters, as a genre of people who write personal songs with a bit of social edge, all roads lead to Woody Guthrie.
Down to Georgia I did go. There I met a fair young maiden, and her name I never did know.
There's a lineage from Woody through modern folk musicians, the narratives in songwriting and social consciousness. It's a powerful combination, you know, that Woody defined.
That's a thing to be proud of, you know, as an American musician, to know that's part of like where it comes from is Woody Guthrie, you know, and he's one of the forefathers of that.
As someone said, he's not a link in the chain, he's the hook that is grounded in the earth that the chain is linked to.
Lots of folks back east this say's leaving home every day and beating a hot old dusty way to the California line.
Woodrow Wilson Guthrie was born in Okemah, Oklahoma, in 1912. Woody became one of the great folk song ballad makers of the 20th century, writing more than 3,000 songs. Though some of his songs became popular, Woody didn't write them to become hits or for commercial success. He wrote songs for a simpler purpose, to sing with friends and share with people that he'd meet on his hard traveling around the country.
Oklahoma, Kansas, Georgia, Tennessee.
Often these songs were based on familiar folk melodies. Woody would write lyrics and prose in the voice of the common man.
But believe it or not, you won't find it so hard if you ain't got the do-re-mi.
Woody Guthrie is probably one of America's most prolific writers. He wrote on every subject known to man.
Woody Guthrie was a man that went around this country seeing things that he loved, seeing people that he loved, seeing things that he hated, seeing people that he hated. He wrote about it every single day of his life.
Woody, at the core of his work, was a class warrior. He was, in some ways, the original punk rocker. You know, he was the do-it-yourself guy, and he played by nobody's rules but his own.
His ideas were very challenging to the people around him. I think it's an important aspect of Woody that he had the courage, you know, to be that in his society, in his time.
I hit the road one day, the first day that I ever hit the highway, to be what's called a rambling man or a hobo or a tramp was in 1927. I was about 17 years old. I've been having some hard traveling, I thought you knowed. I've been having some hard traveling way down the road.
One thing I really love to listen for in his songs is his sense of rambling and the whole sense of the USA. You know, he kind of traveled from California and Oklahoma, New York, and he put a lot of that in his songs, just the geographic references and his love of the country. You know, and I find a lot of American spirit in his music.
He traveled around, he was a roustabout and went around to different jobs and stuff. There's one thing that Woody was really always doing. He was always writing something down, always making it into a poem, always describing to people the way he saw them.
Hammer flying, air hole sucking, 6 foot of mud and a show been a mucking, and I've been having some hard traveling, Lord.
Woody experienced the hardships of the times firsthand. The devastating Dust Bowl storms, the Great Economic Depression of the 1930s, and the menace of World War II. In spite of this period of hard traveling, poverty, and wartime, Woody did seem to have one thing that worked for him: a great habit of writing words, drawing pictures, and playing music.
John Henry, what he was a baby, sat down on his mammoth knee, picked up a hammer in his little right hand.
He sang songs for hard-working people, and he gave a voice to people that didn't have a voice before. He took Huddy Ledbetter out, and he made a number of records with him. Also, Sonny Terry, a great Georgia harmonica player. So Woody really saw through the color barrier at a time that other artists just stuck with their own kind.
I mean, his artwork alone is brilliant.
But the saddest of all is a picture from life's other side.
The way that his passion spoke through him was multifaceted in his artistic endeavors.
He could write what he saw very well. It was very compact, concise, punchy, not academic, not intellectual, just realistic.
And I think the words were much more important than the music.
Now as I look around, it's mighty plain to see this world is such a great and a funny place to be. Oh, the gambling man is rich and the working man is poor, and I ain't got no home in this world anymore.
By 1954, Woody began to succumb to a rare genetic brain disorder called Huntington's disease. This incurable affliction cut short his career and kept him hospitalized until his death in 1967. His influence on American music and culture is still resonating to this day. You can hear it through his contemporaries who were inspired by Woody's example of making music through the words and giving the people a voice in the songs.
I discovered Woody Guthrie later in life. I grew up on hard rock and heavy metal music, and then sort of segued into punk and hip hop, and completely missed the genre of folk music. It wasn't until I discovered Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska record and the first few Dylan records I began digging back into their influences and what made those records so heavy.
He was rebel. He was childlike. He was thoughtful. He was deep. He was adventurous. You know, he was all the things you want in your hero, in your artist.
Look at the songs that he's written. Look at the people he's affected. Look at the minds he's changed. Look at the ability of him to say, look at your fellow human being.
And if you listen to them, they're really about working people, and they're really about people's hopes, you know, for a better future.
What he does mean to the modern world is the one that encouraged hundreds, maybe thousands of singer-songwriters, from John Lennon to John Mellencamp, to Bob Dylan, to all of us. Woody was the one that inspired us all.
Woody Guthrie was one of America's greatest folk singers and most influential songwriters.
This land was made for you and me. There's a better world coming, tell you why. Better world coming, tell you why.
I am out to sing songs that will prove to you that this is your world, and that if it has hit you pretty hard and knocked you for a dozen loops, no matter how hard it's run you down and rolled over you, no matter what color, what size you are, how you are built, I am out to sing the songs that make you take pride in yourself and in your work.